Hello, hello.
Hey y'all.
It's Kui.
It's Mich.
And this is The Raw. Gang, gang, gang. What's up, y'all? Today, it's just the two of us.
I was play that part of that song, Trenches, where she says gang, 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 but copyright.
Oh, yeah. And we don't even like that. Well, I don't even like that song, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm the only person I know that likes that song.
You and Mel.
Oh yeah, Mel likes it too.
Okay, so today it's just the two of us, my favorites.
Same.
And we are going to be talking a little bit about our opinions on dating and honesty in dating. Ugh, love that topic.
Our fave topic.
So let's kick it off. Okay. I think that let's talk about honesty when you're in different stages of dating. Let's start with that.
So what's the first stage, like talking?
Yeah, let's just do like keep it simple. So like talking / dating, and then actually like in a relationship. So then we gonna go because we know everybody has a different like stage of dating. So
okay, talking / dating.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that do you think there anything that are okay to lie about?
Okay, so honestly, I think that with the dating stage, it's really don't ask, don't tell that you operate from, unless you're talking about like sexual relations. Then I think that you should be honest about where you're coming from, especially if you're engaging in that. But in terms of like, oh, are you talking / dating other people or any other information like that, like unless you ask me, like that's not information that I have to offer up.
See, you are a politician because that's not the question.
Wait, what was the question?
Are there any type of lying that is okay?
Is there any type of lying that's okay? Yes. I want to say yes because I feel like everybody lies at some point, but it's like I can't.
Okay, so what have you lied about?
Okay, so that's what I was about to say. Like you over here trying to put me in the hot seat. I can't think of something that I would lie about, like honestly speaking.
Okay, so you said don't ask, don't tell, and you're like, oh, are you talking to other people? And so like, is that something that you feel like would be a fair thing to be like gray about, tell the truth about, or completely lie about?
So I wouldn't completely lie about that. That's a good question, and I'm gonna flip it right back to you when we're done. Since you want to act like this is an interviewee style, I'm gonna flip the question back to you. That ain't no problem. But I don't think that's something to lie about, honestly. Like you know that that one meme with Dr. Umar who's like, I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit. I have your competition on the phone. I'm gonna talk to you later. I have your competition.
Let's finish this conversation another time. I have your competition on the phone. Let's finish this conversation another time. I have your competition on the phone.
I feel like with dating, it is like a competition type game where it's like you're filling it out and there are going to be people who are like higher on your list who you're feeling more than the other people. And so like you understand what you're getting into when you're in that dating pool. So it's like if somebody asks, are you dating other people? Simple as yes or no. So I don't think that's something to lie about.
I agree.
Okay, well, do you think that there's anything that you should lie about when you're dating?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I think it's like the dating, talking, whatever, is already so gray that if we start to add little nuances of like lack of truth, then it just like complicates what's already a complicated situation. So it's like, I understand what you're saying as far as like operating from don't ask, don't tell. Like that's kind of also like, you know, if you really want to know the answer to a question, I guess ask it. But like, I do understand that we all sometimes get in little like, okay, I'm not gonna say we all, because most people like, not me. Yes, you too. Like,
yes, you too, but you're not gonna say we all.
Right, because I you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
But like fundamentally speaking, I like try to operate from truth all the time. The sticky situations, I guess, do exist, but I can't think of a time where I like consciously, like seriously, like lied about something.
I'm trying to think because I feel like, yes, ideally you say like, you know, you try to speak from an area of truth, but then in those things where it's like, so I think that I'm phrasing the question like, do you think that there's any valid instance where lying would be acceptable then? Because we get into, so you said it in the frame of understanding, like, yeah, we all kind of get into sticky situations. So understanding that sticky situations exist, and that maybe the easy route would be to like lie about the situation until whatever. Do you think that it's acceptable, or do you think it's unacceptable?
I mean, I generally think lying is unacceptable. I do think there should be grace offered in those sticky situations. See, but I'm saying, like, politician, it's always better. It's always going to be better to tell the truth, because I feel like at some point you're going to have to like pay for that in a different way. It's sometimes maybe twofold. So it's like either pay now, interest later, or, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So what about little white lies?
Like what? Give me an example.
Let me think. Dang, I didn't come with
like, oh, what you doing right now? Think about you. No, good
little white lies. Okay, so I know that some people like act like they're interested in certain topics in relationships or when getting to know people, just to like, you know, amp up conversation or make themselves seem more appealing. So like girls who might not generally like sports act like, oh, I like sports, I watch the game, da da da. I feel like those are little white lies that don't necessarily push the bill.
Wait. Okay, so I don't think the engaging in the other person's interest is a white lie, but like if you're saying they say like, oh, they watched the game and they didn't, like that's a literal lie.
No, I think it's a lie if you don't like sports and you act like you do. That's not who you are.
Okay.
That's a different perception that you're putting on for the sake of that person.
Okay, if they act like they don't like sport, if they act like they like sports and they don't, yeah. But I think sometimes people start to get like, if you hang around someone so much and they're interested in something, you start to like.
But that's also not my question as well. My question is like in little white lies like that. So not even like, oh, well, down the line you start to like sports, and so it's like, okay, fine, whatever. It's like you don't like sports and you come off like you do like sports for the sense of making yourself more appealing. Is that okay?
But I mean, I feel people do in the workforce all the time. Everybody says they're good at data analytics, and y'all are not. We are not all good at Excel, but we all have it on our resume.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it. Proficient in Excel.
Right.
Like, proficient in Spanish.
Right.
Knowing dang well all I can say is hola,
Spanish
como está.
You literally took the first level of Spanish in high school. What is like information that you owe someone that you're talking to or dating?
Okay. But also just...
You want me to answer it first?
You could go.
Because you was about to derail. I was like, I saw. Also, but like, why are you going over there?
No, because
I'll answer.
Okay.
I do think you should be truthful, but I don't think anyone owes anyone any type of information. So I think the thing of like assuaging such situations where people feel like entitled to a certain amount of information is just like outlining the expectation. And like Kui said, like, don't ask, don't tell. That's one strategy. I feel like at that talking stage you don't, but I feel like it comes off based on like the expectations that are laid. So if the expectations are X, Y, and Z, and within that requires some sort of like sacrificing of information, then that's what's followed. But as far as like, oh, we just talking, but we have laid out no expectations, no nothing, and then you ask me in almost like a entitlement to some information, a certain type of question, that's a little off-putting. Because at what point did we discuss that was even in the parameters of what we were doing?
I think for me, the only time that I feel like information should be offered up and it's just like best practice is like when you feel like the dynamic is shifting or changing. I don't think that you should ever like lead someone on or drag them along just because like they're an option that you know they're interested in. So it's like, I'm gonna keep this option while open while I'm like exploring different things, and if it just falls off, like I'm gonna ghost them or whatever the case is. I think that like if you're dating someone or talking to them or getting to know them, like the least that you can owe them is like when you're changing the dynamic and you're like, listen, I'm not feeling this anymore, or like this is where I would like to take it next. Like I feel like that information should be like constantly checked in and like talked about.
Oh yeah, okay. So like, okay. I'm trying to think like from the other perspective, like why someone do that.
Micheline is easily a bro, so I know that her thinking from the other perspective just comes very naturally to her. Like, she's mandem, honestly. Like, one of the guys.
Come on, exposing.
Nice.
Nice. Way to ruin it for me.
You're ruining it, bro.
You're ruining it.
Okay, I'm weak. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's kind of move into relationships and just like when you're actually committed to the person. I can already guess that your thing is gonna be no, since you've been saying no, which is fine. But I think that like with me, white lies, like sometimes they're necessary because
I know, because you be white lying to me all the time.
I'll be lying. But the thing is, when I lie, I feel bad. So I'll come back to Micheline and I'll be like, yeah, I actually lied about that earlier. Like, that's
She's mad. She's mad.
I'll literally be like acting like I'm busy, and then I'll be like, yeah, I lied. Like, I was just like scrolling through my phone. So. But no, I do think white lies are necessary. Like in the situations where it's just like, for example, maybe in the time, like maybe finding a way to say it, because like one of the things that is common, like a lot of white lies, like how do you tell your spouse that they're gaining weight? Like if your babe is like, babe, do I look fat in these jeans? And then you're like, you gonna tell her she look fat in the jeans? Like at that point your night is ruined, because not only did you call her fat, but now she don't got an outfit to wear for the rest of the night, and now she's like self-conscious about the fact that she looks fat. So maybe you don't say she looks fat in those jeans, but then you find a way of encouraging her to exercise, like let's go exercise together, or like, oh, I think we should start a 21-day diet or something like that. You do it together so that she don't feel no type of way. I feel like
that's
those kind
an
of things.
interesting take on it. Okay, I see that. So you think that's okay to lie to spare emotions? So you don't agree in truth lies?
Get out.
She's not gang.
Wow, literally not. No, see, so I think that honesty is necessary, but I also think that you have to understand that you're dealing with real people who have real emotions, and so that if there's a way to say that answer without lying, then go for it. Because like the thing is, like she's probably asking you because she trusts your opinion
and needs reassurance.
Yeah, and needs reassurance. And so in that instance, like maybe there is a way of saying that, but I personally can't think of it right now. Can you?
Yeah, I probably would deflect and say maybe you should try on that something else that I think would look better.
Okay,
yeah.
But I mean,
and
the message will be clear then.
Yeah,
she would get that, but it's a nicer way of saying it. But I feel like in instances like that, like you have to move with a certain level of understanding for like how they might perceive what you're saying. Yeah. And so if in the instance you can't figure out the way of saying it, best case scenario, no, baby, you look fine. You know you always look beautiful in my eyes, the apple of my eye. And then you continue. I feel like white lies
sometimes do save the moment. So I understand what you're saying, especially when it comes to like feelings. Like I do believe in honesty, but I kind of also believe in like more than that, not the sparing of emotions, but just the understanding of the fact that we're always dealing with human beings. And so if it's like when we but there's a difference between like not hurting someone and then like still being honest. I think that's a very difficult line.
It's a
like
fine line.
How honest can you be without hurting someone else, while like sparing someone else's emotions? I do think though some people do abuse that and be like, I ain't tell you because I knew you was gonna overreact.
That's not okay. And see, that's the thing when we talk about fine line is like, don't use it as a crutch or an out for something, right? Like that is not okay. Like you have to still like I'm out of here. Cut the cameras.
Like, ouch.
So then I wonder, like, what does finding out about dishonesty like that in relationships look like in just like for small lies as well as big lies? Because, you know, with big lies, it's easy to be like, you know, trust is broken, obviously, blase. But like with small lies, right, is it also the same? So like, I'm going to take a small lie in dating. Actually, I don't know if it's a big or small lie. But like for guys to be like, if you're like, are you dating other people? And they're like, no, I'm not really talking to anybody else. And then you find out later that they are. I don't know if that's a big or small lie, but.
But my thing is.
What's your thing?
Why did you say no?
Yeah, why lie? Because unprovoked, they will. Guaranteed, I grant it. They will.
Because like
you don't have to give them a reason. But why? Maybe you guys can comment and answer why.
Literally, because I don't know. When it comes to things like that, I just try to think about like the reason behind it. So, because the reason behind things sometimes to me could be more revealing than what actually happens. Because like, you know, was it just kind of a thing and you were like nervous, or was it you were actually talking to other people that you were more interested in, but you weren't quite ready to like read me? That lets me know that you're using me. That's a big problem. That's a big lie. Like,
no, for sure, it is a big problem, and it absolutely is a big lie. And I want no parts after that. So yeah, not a problem. I understand.
Okay, that's fine.
Dog, you almost poked me in my eye.
Yeah.
I mean, with like certain things, so like catching people in lies, like is an interesting thing in terms of reaction, because it's like, is this something that you want to address head on, or is it something where it's like, I see how you move and I'll match you too, you know, type of thing. So it's
or
like,
just I see how you move and not say anything, and just like mental note.
Yeah, but when you see how they move, that just like is something that you are aware of now, and you like, yeah. So it's like, I wonder, but like with those, like, which lies would you say are the lies that's like it requires a conversation, and which lies are the ones where you're like,
okay, so if it's like a lie where I would consider it to be like shift my perception of their character, we can talk about that. But if it's like I peep like slick game, then cool, good to know.
And I operate under the like, for me personally, when something bugs me for more than like 2 days, I have to talk about it. So if it's like I slept on it and it's like, okay, you lied, but like it's not that big of a deal to me anymore, or I'm not hung up on it, then there's no need for me to have a conversation about it. But if it's something where it's like in the back of my head and like now we're even talking and like I can't even be fully like myself because I'm thinking about how you lied, like we need to like get that out into the open if we want to like continue. So that's that. What about the lies that seem like little lies in the beginning but are like actually large lies? Okay, so for example, because I was thinking about it, right, with my example that I used, like of a girl pretending that she enjoys sports to make her seem more appealing. But what if it's something that's like really big for that other person? So for you, you're really big on like writing and blogging and stuff. So say you're talking to a guy who also seems to be like really interested in that type of stuff in the beginning, and then later down the line you find out that like he's not actually
English,
he's not actually interested in that, and like that's a big thing for you. So like it's like you can't run your pieces of writing by him really, because he doesn't actually read them. Okay, like he's not going to edit because he failed English. And if it doesn't include pictures, forget about it. Okay, like you find this out down the line. What does that look like? Like how damaging would you feel like that aspect would be?
Honestly, I think I understand your concept. I do. I guess to me it would really have to depend on like, it's weird, but there's a little bit like, that's why when we use this example earlier, I had like kind of like a runaround about it, because there's a little thing that's flattering about someone, like even if it's not truly like, even if he's not into writing, he doesn't really like writing, but he's like at least trying to keep up in conversation with me, like that's a little flattering. But like if you like commit to writing a book with me and like we sign deals and then you come to find out that you're a fraud, like that's different. Your man's not gonna be like watching sports all the time and you're just there just make up, like you don't even want to just watch one game, like like, so
no, she doesn't.
okay, I guess that's fine, but like at some point, like some interests are gonna have to merge, or like that's literally how like relationships work. So like showing me that you're interested in the things that I'm interested in is like, you don't have to love it, you don't even have to have like a proficient level of understanding, but like the effort means something to me.
That's a good point. I was just thinking about it from, I guess, the lens of like, if it's something that's not true to you. Granted, there are, like you said, people who can like come to like it just because you've exposed them to that more, but also it's one of those things where it's like the consistency won't keep up if it's something that's like fraudulent from the beginning. So it could be something that they're like faking interest in the beginning, and then it's like once they've got you, or once you guys are on like a more regular consistent basis, like there's no need to put in that same effort of being like, oh, I'm so interested in this, or like whatever, and like that will become very apparent and clear. But then hopefully by that point,
because I guess that's the thing, we're talking about like sharing like, or having like common interests or like shared interests. If it's like something where you like did put up this act and like later while I get more serious they realize that it's not something that you're interested in, but it's like their life's passion and that's something like they want to share with someone to partner, like that could affect like you know, that partnership. So it's like,
yeah. But I was about to say, hopefully by that point you guys have found other common interests that you guys can. But
what
like,
if this was a non-negotiable? What if someone like, what if it had to do with like, what if some of your non-negotiables like religion?
Oh yeah,
like was just coming to watch
like
the
faking that you were. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh no, that's what you're talking about.
That's what I've been.
How
about
other common interests?
Yeah, because I was doing it from the lens of like small lies, but like that's why you see when lies are just like harmful in general, and honesty is the best like source.
Policy.
Exactly. Policy.
Source.
Come on, Michael. Come on. I could have gotten away with that.
Honesty is the best
English
source.
isn't my first language, and if I said honesty is the best source, then like you can make it make sense.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's a good attempt. That's a good attempt.
Yeah. Whatever. At the end, I'll be all like, you need to be honesty in relationships, right? Like the major takeaways here is that like when you're dating someone, you don't owe them any information, but like why lie? Okay, like there's no reason to lie unprovoked. And then when you're dating someone or like committed to someone, just be honest in the relationship and like understand that emotions play a part, but like ultimately the message should come from an honest place.
The main message
here. The main message here.
The main message here.
The main message.
Be honest.
It's been real, live, and direct from
The Raw. Make
Bye,
sure
y'all.
to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you never miss an upload.
Bye, y'all.